The next few weeks are like Christmas for cyber attackers, with security teams stretched thin or often vacation entirely or avoiding looking at the security portal so they can just get some rest or spend time with the family. This is the perfect time for a cyber attack, so you should probably be prepared. So as we get into the festive cyber attack period, it's more vital than ever that we protect our privileged user accounts. It's just a few simple things that we can do that could potentially save the business. So what do I mean? Well, simple stuff. Check who has privileged roles in the environment, and make sure they still need them. There is time still. If they don't need them all the time, why not remove them and then make them ask for it back whenever they need it? Let's look at how we can do that really quickly. So from the Entra Admin Center, we can just go down into Roles and Admins, choose Roles and Admins, and right here you see this list of roles and admins. I'll just remove this section here so we can see a bit better. Right, so we have a list of roles and a description of that, and whether it's privileged or not. If I click that twice, it lists all the privileged roles. Literally, every single one of those is privileged at the top there, and the unprivileged ones are at the bottom. It's a sorted list. What we see is next to it the assigned assignments, the number of assignments. In my environment, this one is a very basic lab environment just to demonstrate what I'm talking about. But even if I go down here, you can see that I've got a global admin. That's a privileged role. All of these have some kind of privilege and are useful to a cyber attacker. If you see a big number in any of these and you don't really understand why, or if you see a big number and think maybe it could be a smaller number, especially in this global admin section, you want to make that as low as possible, between 3 and 6 maybe. You want to reduce that as far as possible. And here you can see very quickly which users or how many users have the privileged access that we need to protect. If we scroll down, you can see the unprivileged stuff, and go have as many of those as you like perhaps, but here these are the ones that are privileged. These are the ones that can really make an impact in a cyber attack. So also, if you have Microsoft 365 E5 security or the equivalent, you could set up Privileged Identity Management, or PIM. This allows you to make certain admins eligible for privileged roles, and they can only elevate that when required. Let me show you what I mean. Go back to Home, expand this so we can see it, and rather than going into Roles and Admins and choosing Roles and Admins and adding Application Administrator, for example, rather than going into here and choosing Add Assignments and tapping in the user's name, Jenny I think I'll need here, so rather than doing that, if we do that, we give Jenny permanent access as a privileged identity. So look, let me show you which one it would be. It would be the application administrator. Jenny would be a permanent application administrator, whether she wants to be or not. So instead of that, let's go, remove that, we'll scroll down, we'll choose Identity Governance, and then down into Privileged Identity Management, or PIM. As you can see here, we have two options in the dashboard of Manage Access and Activate Just in Time. Activate Just in Time is what you would select if you were wanting to elevate your permissions within PIM. Right now I need to set it up. So we're going to go with Manage. And here we have all of the roles that are manageable within PIM right now. If you scroll down, you can see I've got 2 directory readers and 1 global admin. Very simple, very small lab environment, but you get the point. If I scroll up, what we can do is choose Application Administrator, and you can see we've got 3 tabs. We've got Eligible, Active, and Expired. There are no users in any of those. But what I want to do is give Jenny permissions to elevate to Application Administrator whenever she needs to. So we're going to go with Add Assignments, and in the scope type, it's going to be Directory. And then in Select Member, we're going to choose Jenny, like we did before, and choose Select. And then from here, we're going to choose Next. And this is where we get to choose whether it's eligible or always active. If it's always active, then it's almost the equivalent of what we had before, where Jenny is permanently active within this environment as an application administrator I want to make it eligible because this is her daily account that she uses for her day-to-day work, and now and again she needs to go in and make a change to an application or add an application. I want to make her eligible so she can go in and do that change very, very rarely. So we're going to make it permanently eligible, which means that there's no assignment start or end date, and we're going to choose assign. So after a few seconds, Jenny is now listed as an application administrator, and if we look on the right hand side, it's a permanent eligibility. It's in the eligible section rather than the active section. Whenever she goes in and elevates that permission to active, then it will appear in the active list. Now you may have heard an email sound come in just then as I was talking about that. If I go into my email, you can see that Jenny has the application administrator role for my directory. It's been assigned in PIM. You can see who did it, what the assignment type was, and more information. You simply wouldn't have got that if I'd assigned the role directly. PIM allows you to get that additional information sent to all admins that are eligible to receive this information. So what else? On that point, use a separate admin account for privileged roles. Every admin should have a dedicated user account that is given privileged access that they need. They should absolutely not be receiving email on the account that has privileged access. In the example I just showed you, I gave Jenny permissions on her daily driver account. She's going to receive email on that account, which can be phished. That account is then eligible to become admin. That's not good. That's not something you want to have for all of your admin accounts, because phishing is rife. It's one of the easiest ways to get access to an environment. It's a really bad idea. I bet some of you watching are using your daily driver account as global admin, and you know it's not okay. If you do know it's not okay and your security team don't know it's not okay, then tell them I told you it's not okay and you need to change it. So watch how easy it is for me to fix the Jenny problem I just gave you. So for example, if I go into here and look at the eligible assignment, I'm going to remove her eligible assignment, and now we have a user called Jenny who, here she is. So Jenny at lastcoffee.co.uk, that's her UPN. I'm going to add a new user. I'm going to create that. I'm going to call it ADM-Jenny, and this is Jenny. I'm going to call it admin Jenny. And you can call it whatever you like. Make your own naming convention for it. You need to make sure that they don't show up in the directory as being possible to email or Teams messages, that kind of thing. So I'm going to generate this account. I'm going to choose next and next. I'm not going to add any roles or permissions. I'm going to just create it. Choose create. From here, head over into PIM. Choose manage access. And in roles, I'm going to give the application administrator role to that new user that I just created. Obviously, she's not there yet. Admin Jenny. I'll choose select. Choose next. It's eligible, permanently eligible. We'll choose assign. And now I've removed the chance that Jenny will be phished with her account that is eligible to elevate to application administrator. So simple. Jenny now needs to have a second password and a second user account that she uses, but that's all right. That's a small bit of extra work for Jenny, but a huge protection for the organization. Why would you not do that? Comment in the video if you think you have a good reason not to do that. Yeah, I'm all ears. Right, so on that topic, when you're creating the dedicated user account, don't sync it from on-prem. Like I just did there, create the account cloud native. There's no good reason for your cloud admin accounts to be based on that old clunky insecure Active Directory that you're propping up for reasons that you hold quite close to your heart. Try and keep these cloud native. There's just no good reason to have them on-prem. I think that's it. I think if you can at least do some of the things that I've just talked about before the cyber attack hits at Christmas, that would be really helpful for your organization. See you next time.